Hello, lads and ladies, and welcome back. League One Live, Sunday, the 14th of December. Big game week in Sky Bet League One. We had goals galore in some. We had a couple of goalless draws. To join me tonight is our good friend from Lincoln. It is the one, the only, Long. Jake, how are we, mate? You all right, pal?
I'm okay, mate. Thank you. It's been a long weekend, but it's the last week before Christmas, and life's looking good, mate. I spent my Sunday wrapping my presents to try and make myself feel a little bit more festive. How are you, Nappers? Are you all right?
I'm living the dream, mate. Do you have a good weekend?
I think you know how my weekend went. Frustration is the word of my weekend, Ben. Putting yourselves in such a good position and not to come away with what you maybe expected or wanted to. But such is life, mate. I had a lovely time around Blackpool. Went and saw the Eiffel Tower. Went and saw the tram that you get on before most home games. I went, oh, Nappers has walked along this pavement. Oh, Nappers has probably been inside that pub. Nappers has been inside that chippy. So yeah, no, it was good. It was a nice weekend, long drive, but I'm glad to be back in Lincoln because Blackpool's a bit balmy.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's say hello to the chat down below. If you could all give us a like as you come in, that'd be appreciated. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay in the comments below. Cardiff winning the league. Thank bold call, but we shall soon see. Up the chickens. Good evening, lads. Another point for December will do. Yeah, considering Lincoln are normally awful in December, I think there is some consideration where we can go, yeah, it's not that bad. While wrapping presents on the 14th of December, I might have bought any, to be fair.
like to be prepared. I like to be prepared.
Good evening, David. Hope you're well. See and hear you perfectly. That's what we like to hear. Boom, 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 Jake. Up the League One Live. Fantastic result for Bolton Wanderers yesterday. 2-4-3 wins already. Keep your comments coming because we'll need them throughout the show. But today we're going to start off with Cardiff City 4, Doncaster 3 in an absolutely extravaganza of a football match as Cardiff City make it 5 straight wins in Sky Bet League One. 41 points hit their 13th win of the season, the 8th home win of the season. They scored 24 goals as he put on a show in front of just shy of a crowd just short of 19,000. They had to do it the hard way when Bailey put Doncaster in front before Kellerman equalised, and then Ashford scored a lovely goal to make it 2-1. Brendan Hamlin did what he does best, getting in behind the Cardiff back line and making it 2-2. Salek again scoring once more. The impressive man scores again. Has a good calendar year for goals for him, and in the Championship and in League One. Went to 3-2. Clifton made it 3-3, and Doncaster thought they'd earned a well-earned point on the road. But it wasn't until Bagan's 99th minute goal that showed signs of champions for the Bluebirds. They were knocked down a couple of occasions, but Cardiff City found a way, and that's what they're starting to do. December's a time to start making statements, lots of games to get lots of points, and they're putting on a show. 4 points ahead of their next rivals, Bradford City, who have already beaten them at their own turf this year. Cardiff, great win. My only criticism of Cardiff is that they are gettable. You can get at Cardiff City. They do concede a lot of goals. 4-3 win at Leyton Orient. 3-2 win against Huddersfield. They lost 3-1 to Bradford. Lost 3-1 at Blackpool. But they are scoring goals. If they concede 3, they often score 4. So it is, easy to say, well, they're conceding a lot. The way they play this passing brand of football, I thought it'd eventually get found out. To be fair, they've just got better and better as the play style is. They've learned it. They've developed on it. It's a young group. Been really impressed with several of their players. Salek again, he's a goal scorer at any level, but to come in to League One and do it, Ash has been brilliant. Robertson and Wintle in midfield. A great win for Cardiff, Jake.
Yeah, as much as I want to praise Cardiff, and we are big Cardiff fans, of course, I do think Doncaster do need quite a bit of praise. I know they've lost the game, but I thought the way they played was actually quite admirable from a team going to Cardiff who were miles top of the league. I thought the way they attacked them, like you say, they got at them and they made life difficult for them. And I think they really made a good account of themselves. Charlie Crew, someone that played particularly well. Luke Molyneux as well had a really good game. I know I spoke to a Cardiff fan about him yesterday, causing problems for the first goal, like you say. But yeah, Doncaster, I thought much better performance from them than what we've seen in recent weeks, because they have been pretty poor, pretty dour, certainly away from home. They haven't looked at it, but I think if Doncaster, I'll get to Cardiff, if Doncaster can have that sort of level of performance against teams in and around them in the mid-table, I think they'll pick up a lot of points, like we saw them do at the start of the season. As for Cardiff, yeah, I mean, it's a sign of a good side, isn't it? I mean, I don't think they were vintage. I don't think they were fantastic. But to still score 4 goals, including a 99th minute winner, shows a lot of character, shows that they're a very good side. And yeah, they've got talent in abundance, haven't they, Ben? Like you speak about Saleh, who's fantastic. You've got, it wasn't Ruben Colwell in the 10 this time. It was Amari Kellerman, who is just a delightful young player. You've got Davis and Ashford all contributing as well. Ryan Wintle and Robertson forming that base in midfield. They're a good side. They're going to take a lot of beating. But like you say, I think this performance in Doncaster gives a lot of encouragement, like you mentioned, that you can get at this Cardiff team if you're up and you're at them and you press them really well. I think you can go to a couple of goals in front. Doncaster just very leaky at the back. I mean, Lototala didn't have a great game, let's be honest. But I think you can definitely get at this Cardiff team. But still, massive credit to them. Like you say, to be in a position they're in, 40 points already, motoring along at more than 2 points a game. They've won 13 out of 19. They've only lost 4 times. It's some doing from Cardiff. They're having a very good start to the season.
Doncaster are getting dragged into it. I don't care if I offend anyone here, but that goalkeeper is an absolute liability. Lototala is horrific. Honestly, you know something. He's popping on wrists. Genuinely, I think Wigan away, he was awful. I would say he's probably made 6 or 7 mistakes. And yes, keepers make saves. Before people come at me for that, that's his job, if I'm honest with you.
Right.
He's made several mistakes. And you've got to be looking at him for a number of mistakes. He's not been questioned, really. He's the Onana of the League One. Genuinely, that goalkeeper is nowhere near good enough. They started the season well, Doncaster. It all started at Doncaster at Wigan away. That 3-0 defeat, it set the tone. Then they lost to Wimbledon 2-1, if you remember. And in that game, they went 1-0 up. And then Johnson and I think Hippolyte got goals that day. And they won 2-1. Then they went to Spurs and you thought, distraction. Then they went to Luton about 3 or 4 days later, lost 1-0. They got a point against Burton, but again, that was a rot stopper. And then you think, right, now's the time to really go and get 3 points and not get dragged in. And yes, they've lost to Cardiff and Stockport recently, but they look all over the place. Lost to Northampton, they lost to Leyton, Orient, they've lost to Lincoln. They've got 6 points from a possible 39. They've won 1, they've drawn 3, they've lost 9. They are getting dragged into that relegation battle. And they need to start picking up points because, well, let's be honest about it, the form they are in is bottom of the table worthy. Plymouth have found a way. Peterborough are on the same points as them, but Peterborough have won 7 of the last 12. Peterborough picked up 21 points across the last 12. That's promotion form, if we're thinking about it. At least for a playoff. Reading have been solid enough, but they've got points. But the issue with Doncaster is they've just hit a period where they can't buy anything, and the issue is, I don't think they've got the strength to get out of it. I don't look at that squad and think, who is the man that's going to go and get us out? They've got a bit of quality, but at the moment, if you ask me for my bottom 4, I think Doncaster would be in it. And there's glimpses of it. But if you're scoring 3 away at Cardiff playing well, you can't lose 4-3. You've got to get some, like Port Vale, and we'll come on to them in a bit. You 2-2 at Luton. But again, you play well, but you don't get 3 points. And how often are Doncaster going to go and score 3 goals in a game? across the season?
Not very.
Yeah, exactly. I think they scored 3 against Bradford, and Matt scored 3 as well. They've not won away since August. They've got to tighten it up. You've got to look at the defence. You've got to look at the keeper. And again, I just feel that they're a flash in the pan, Doncaster. Look, to stay up this year would be a great season for them, but Plymouth, you'd feel, will get better. Plymouth and Blackpool are getting better. Peterborough have got better. Exeter, and I see a struggle for. Burton had a decent one, but it feels like a lifetime ago since they won away at Bradford. Although they've obviously hardly played, I just feel with Doncaster that they're struggling, Jake.
Yeah, and do you know what it is? I think it shows what the step up can be from League Two to League One. I know a lot of people say the gap isn't big at all, but we're talking about players that were in that team that were absolutely dominating League Two last year. Like Luke Molyneux completely dominated it. You've seen Lototala dominate League Two when he was there, not last season, the season before. I think that's just what it is. And that they often turn to Luke Molyneux, and he's not really got a huge amount of experience at this level. I seem to remember when he has played at League One level, he's not been massively effective. But going to Doncaster, making a home for himself, etc., you thought that would work. But I completely agree with you, Ben. They are on a slippery slope, and those teams around them, you're completely right. They're all getting better, aren't they? I mean, Blackpool I saw yesterday in the flesh, but Argyle, they won yesterday. Obviously, Exeter they pushed a good Bolton side all the way. Port Vale got a good point at Luton. Peterborough beat Cobblers. I don't know about we'll come on to them, but Reading are one that I'm worried about at the moment as well. I think Reading are in a similar boat to Doncaster at the minute, but probably have that League One quality to try and get themselves out of that hole, whereas Doncaster just don't. They don't have reliable, proven League One players. And I think that's their downfall really at the moment. But what they do have is a very good manager. Grant McCann is a manager that I like a lot. I know he's got links to certain clubs. It means we maybe shouldn't like him, but he's a very good attacking manager. And he has proven himself at this level before. Maybe up the top end, maybe not down the bottom end. So intrigued to see how that goes. But yeah, they are certainly sliding towards the bottom four, and at quite an alarming rate as well. Doncaster fans are worried.
Yeah, I can agree with you there. On Cardiff again, to come down and show that level of performance is very, very good, because they didn't really recruit, they didn't really spend a lot of money, but they signed in good areas. And for me, I said it on my TikTok before, Cardiff made the biggest statement in League One that's been made this year. For me, beating Huddersfield at home, going to Stevenage away, and then a 4-3 nitty-gritty win against Doncaster that can be no edge. They've scored 8 goals. They found a way. All 3 games very different to themselves. The Stevenage game was the bacon of the sandwich, the good bit, because scrappy. You had to fight for it, and you learned a lot about it. They've gone away from home a lot this season, and they've scored a lot of goals, but often at the time they've had to go away from home and really dig it out. I think Luton away, Stevenage away, Wigan away. They've made statements in different ways. We talk about statements. I would go so far and say I think this was the best result in the division yesterday. Stockport County 1, Stevenage 3. I don't think many people would have it. Big win for Matt. About to say Matt Farley. Alex Ravel's Stevenage. I feel that Matt Farley's Stevenage manager is because I feel Matt Farley gets more mentions when we talk about Stevenage.
I'm not allowed to bring him up tonight. I've been told I'm not allowed to bring him up.
I'll bring him up because I love Farley. So yeah, he's a great.
I know he's watching. He said,
yeah,
I know he's watching.
I'm sure he's not on the Christmas do with the team. Why isn't Fleetwood having there today? He didn't get an invite like that. But Stockport 1, Stevenage 3. Big win for the Borough. Now, we question Stevenage's lack of attacking flair, if you like. A big congratulations to Jamie Reid, who scored his 50th goal in the EFL for Stevenage. They've been in, 2.5 years, which you're looking at 100 games, 110, 120 games, is a very, very good goal per game rate. Considering last year...
He did play in League Two for him.
Oh, well, yeah. All right, then have them on as well. But you think a lot of them in League One. He scored 35 goals in League One. of those. So, deserves humongous credit for that. And, a great goal per game record. Going at Stockport, we'll talk Stevenage first. Ken Campbell with an absolute moment of absolute brilliance, cuts inside into the top corner. And then you think, okay, see it through. Ball comes into the box. And who's there? Big goal, reading Luther Widland with his second assist of the day. Luther Widland, in my opinion, I would go as far to say I think one of the most underrated players within the division. I just think when I look at Arthur Widland, I think he's solid. He's strong. He'll 9 out of 10 every week. Right back and can get forward, shot crosses, and he's just so strong. And I think the Stevenage's back four song, him, Sweeney, Pidge, Freeston, whoever you want to play there across the back. And then Kyle Watson, again, brings one back. Really good ball into the box. And Watson, good header. He's becoming a goal scorer at this level. And then Thompson scores a minute and a half later. And a big win for the Borough away from home. And there was some really good stuff yesterday. Look, he scored 3 goals from an expected goal of 0.79. They had 4 shots on target. Was it vintage? No, it wasn't. But they got the job done at a big place to go and play your football. An intimidating atmosphere, a good side. We'll come on to them in a minute. They hit a bit of a bump in the road. But that was a strong, strong win for Stevenage. Big statement. They only got 6 points from the previous 6. I think they'd only scored 3 goals. They were lacking goals. And that was a massive win for the Borough. However, we've got to address the elephant in the room. I logged on to Twitter this morning, and it doesn't take a lot to get me angry to see a Stockport fan say how embarrassing Stevenage's fans was. Oh, they brought 150, 200 fans. It's embarrassing, that. And really giving it that over the online space. And it made it ever sweet that those fans went home with 3 points. Now, I absolutely hate this argument, and I stuck up for you here before, Jake, that Ben Gill also said the same thing about Lincoln, about your away sport yesterday.
I know he did.
Pathetic. Now, I actually hate this argument. Now, I support the 4th smallest football club in the Football League, right? We're maybe 3rd. We're a very tiny football club, so maybe that's my mentality. But how Stevenage being 3rd or 4th or 5th in League One, wherever they are, wherever they are at the time, how that matters. Why? Because the 3rd, all of a sudden, because they get 2,000 fans, they've got to take 1,000 away every week. Or they've got to grow supporters because you're winning. But then, say if they were winning and they brought 1,000 fans yesterday, they'd all get called glory hunters. Oh, where were you when you were bottom of the league too? You only brought 100. So they can't win. I genuinely don't get it. It's 2 weeks before Christmas. Stevenage are a football club. Week on week, get 3,000 supporters. They're travelling in the numbers, 200-300 fans. It'll be the same fans that go pretty much every week. They went home with 3 points yesterday. This nonsense of fans win games is my biggest pet peeve. It's an absolute ludicrous, because the amount of times that I've been in away games with 40 of us and won 1-0 on a Tuesday night, ever sweet. So, unfortunately, Stevenage, you won 3-1 at Stockport. Because you have lack of fans, it means you can't get 3 points because fans win games, remember. Well done, Steve. And a big well done to Stevenage fans for travelling in numbers yesterday. No matter how, as a fan, right, you deserve humongous credit for travelling to support your team. Home, away, Saturday, Tuesday. Any fan that makes the effort to go and watch their team instead of sitting at home watching it in the Fire Stick deserves humongous credit. Well done to Stevenage yesterday.
Yeah, well done to the Stevenage fans that showed up yesterday. I think that's they got the dividends, didn't they, for travelling all that way and following the team. I thought yesterday, like you say, Ben, was a big statement for Stevenage. Me and you both in our prediction on Wednesday night. Sorry, went for a Stockport win. I think that's not to be surprised, given how strong they typically have been at Edgeley Park. Bear in mind, but I know that you talk about the attendance. This is a team that have got 8,800 at home. They're not one of the biggest teams in the league, is it? We're not talking about we talk about Stockport saying this about the attendances. Bear in mind where they were a couple of years ago in the National League North, when they were getting hardly any fans whatsoever. So I think it's a bit like the popcorn, the kettle black for for Stockport fans.
I've full respect. I think Stockport fans are class.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
but they're
really, really wound me up.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're not, but I'm just saying that it's a little bit hypocritical that they're having a go at a team about attendances when in the National League North there's not a chance they were getting 9,000-10,000 fans every week. It's not, just didn't happen. So the success brings fans, right? And I think Stevenage, it's not a place renowned for its football. The south of England isn't a massive football haven. And they've got lots of local clubs near them. Stevenage, they're about a stone. They're about 10 minutes on the train to Arsenal and Tottenham, and easy accessible for Chelsea and teams like that. So I do commend, especially one particular fan in Matt Farley for going, and the dedication he has for Stevenage Borough were great, and he was rewarded yesterday. I thought they were brilliant, out of possession, fantastic. They marshalled Stockport really well. They made them devoid of ideas. Perfect away performance. They got themselves in front through the only real moment in the first half in which they had with Chem Campbell, and it's well taken, because when you have to go to Stockport, you have to take your moment, and Chem Campbell gives them a great platform. Jamie Reid then does what Jamie Reid does. Fantastic goal scorer, like you say, to score 50 EFL goals now. That would have, he'd have probably laughed at you about 5-6 years ago when he was playing for Torquay in the National League South. Probably wouldn't have thought that he was going to reach that margin, but well, fair play to him. And he's got a knack of being in the right place at the right time. And that was a great finish. Like you say, Carl Wootton, good centre forward, good goal from a Stockport point of view. But like the defending for Stockport, I'm just so disappointed, because under Chally, they've been so good defensively. Like, look at that team defence, Ben, that started yesterday. Alowu, Ethan Pye. Many people have dubbed him like one of the best young centre halves in the EFL. Ethan Pye, Alowu, who was highly coveted from a lot of League One clubs and would have been wanted by a lot. Onyango's a young kid from Everton with a really high ceiling. But they've got players like Brad Hills on. They're keeping Brad Hills on the bench, who they paid a really big amount of money for. So, and the defending was just really poor from a Stockport point of view. And I give credit to Stevenage for exploiting it. And Luther Wilding, as you say, fantastic yesterday. A great performance from a right back, maybe proving to be the best right back in the league, or certainly up there this season. But Stockport defensively, mate, all over the place. Not what I recognise about. Think about Stockport County last year. Yeah, they were so good to watch going forward, but you knew defensively they'd ship one goal a game. They'd ship one goal a game. That'd be about it. They wouldn't give out many chances. They wouldn't do it. And that team was built on solidarity, and then all of a sudden this year, I get there's no Ollie Norwood. I get this, but he's not. He can't do the defend. He can't do all the defending. So I'm not sure what's going on. Yeah, I'm really concerned about Stockport at the moment, Ben. But fair play to Stevenage, like you say. But Stockport, a little bit of a concern for them at the moment.
They've only scored 4 goals across the last 5, conceded 10, and like you say, the likes of Low on the bench yesterday. They've got a really, really good team. And since they were top of the league on the 27th of October, on that Monday night where they beat Port Vale, they've only won 1 game, like I said. And Stevenage scored three goals yesterday, and 3 times they've already scored 3 goals this year. Blackpool and Leyton, Orient, both away. So shows you away from home they can sit in the block and really use the kind of the pace from the flank, get balls into the box. Most of the wins, most of the points at this point in the League One season after 18 games. Alex Vale hasn't won many games of football by more than 2 goals. He's not won any. He's only won by 2 or more goals. So he played for tight margins, and he sucked Stockport in yesterday. I don't think Stockport were anywhere near the worst, conceded 24 goals. They look so far off it, and they look great in periods. They are the type of club that can go win 5 or 6 in a row, but other club that maybe can go and win, go on a 4 or 5 game bad period. So interesting to see where we're going to go. Peterborough 2, Northampton 1, 7 wins from the last 12, Jake, after picking up just 1 point in the first 7 for the Posh. Big win at home against Cobbers, their local rivals. Peterborough in the playoffs on recent form. Northampton are pretty much where you'd expect them to be, in the middle of the road. 2 wins, 1 draw, 1 defeat. They scored 8, they conceded 7. Another tight margin game of football that they just this time, unfortunately, come out on the end of. And it seems to me yesterday that Peterborough were the best. They had 10 shots, 31 shots on target. So 31 shots, 10 on target.
Christ.
They had 70% of the ball. Northampton were limited to what they did, and it felt that Peterborough got into the box time and time again. You know, you can see on the heat map how many times that Peterborough just crowded that Northampton box, and Northampton's efforts kind of came from range, really. They lacked presence in the Peterborough box. Luke Williams is doing a fantastic job there. He won 4, he lost a couple, and he's back to winning ways now in the league. Big win for them, and a big progress for them.
Harry Leonard. That's all I've got. That's all you've got to say when it comes to Peterborough at the moment, because he's the only one scoring the goals. I mean, they paid a big fee for.
Your lights fell over.
I was going to say Nappers is not a big fan of Harry Leonard by the sounds of it. They paid a.
Not a big fan of you, but we've worked together for 4 years.
Best 4 years of your life, Ben. Don't even lie to anyone. A great player, Harry Leonard, at the moment. Someone that is banging form. Scored on Tuesday night, obviously scored again twice yesterday. Both goals in the right place at the right time. First one's a lovely finish across the keeper. And the second one, right place, right time. 2 goals either side of half time. And that was pretty much it. I think Jack Perkins getting sent off for Northampton didn't help their cause. Made it a lot more difficult. The last place you really want to go down to 10 men is against a Peterborough team that under Luke Williams, you like to keep the ball, you like to keep it moving with Morgan and Lisby and Garbutt, very good technical players. Woods and Collins, very good at keeping the ball as well. But yeah, that didn't help their cause, having to do the extra running. But still, Peterborough, they came out, they forced the issue. They got the 2 goals eventually. Like you say, they had chances. Morgan, I mean, I'd just seen an article on Twitter before we came on about Jimmy J. Morgan saying that they should have scored 10 goals. That tells you that this Peterborough United team are feeling their free-flowing best again under Luke Williams. And they're built around a young core, aren't they? Like we say with so many Peterborough teams at the start of their cycle. Leonard, young. Jimmy J. Morgan, young. Kyra Lisby, really young. Matt Garbutt, quite a young player as well. So, yeah, lots of positives for Peterborough. They are starting to be better, like you say. The run that they're on now, playoff form over the last 12 games or so, which will please their fans. Northampton, I think they'll be disappointed. I think this would have been a good chance as any. They've got to beat Posh, especially on Derby Day. Anything can happen, but tight margin game of football. They did well to get back in it through Tom Eaves, but didn't massively create any gilt edge opportunities where you thought, how on earth have they missed Ethan Wheatley and Elliot This maybe not as effective as they would have liked to have been. So our day out in Cambridgeshire in the River Nene / Nen derby for Cobblers, but a good win for Peterborough. Out of the bottom 4 now, Ben, Peterborough United, we should mention. That's a big sight. And if they've got games in hand on teams like Rotherham and Leyton Orient, they could get up to 25 where Leyton Orient are. Don't rule this Peterborough United team out yet, Ben. That would be fair.
Bradford City, 3 wins on the spin, up to 37 points. Just 2 defeats in their opening 19 games. The fewest in League One. They did hit a bit of a bumper, just drawing too many games, but they did play the likes of Lincoln, Bolton, Stevenage, Barnsley, Rotherham in that period. But again, 3 big wins, and it just shows you what a week can do. They didn't play Tuesday night due to the postponement against Port Vale. But a good win against Reading, a great win against Plymouth Argyle. It just started, and a great win over Exeter. And again, keeping clean sheets, 3 wins with clean sheets, a couple of 2-0s, a 1-0 in there. And they're just finding their form now at the right time. Again, Reading weren't very good yesterday, but full credit must go to Bradford City. Nearly 20,000 in attendance in December. Again, Sarsic with a goal, another goal for him that can prove his doubt was wrong, that says he can't quite cut it in League One. And Bobby Poynton again with another home goal. Big win for them. They needed it, really, I think, Bradford, because they were struggling up until late. Because have they lost the momentum? Were they just kind of playing on it? But again, they're a good example of if they don't lose, if they don't win, don't lose. And they're doing that ever so well right now. And they've got a good squad and they're using it correctly. The only one thing I would say is I think they need a bit more legs up front. I think they struggle with Humphreys. I don't think that over the course of 46 games, that's enough. Bobby Pointing obviously will add goals, but I feel they need an out-and-out centre-forward that will score goals, that's athletic, that is in form. Yeah. I don't know if you've seen the rumours today, Jake. They're after Ryan Graydon. For me,
Yeah.
I categorically say, look,
I know SHD want to improve.
A player with 6 months left on his deal is a lot. He's average, you can say that, but 7 goals, 3 assists in 20 games this year. In 2025, he must have, I think, 15 goals across 28 games, which is in great form this year. It's been his best, year to date. I would go as far as to say 350 grand is the difference between Fleetwood Town finishing 7th and Fleetwood finishing 13th. So it will be a big fee, but I think it would be a good investment. They need someone in a forward area. Big win at Valley Parade. It's such a tough place to go to. And teams are finding that. Bradford City, only that 1 defeat at home. And that's to Burton Albion. The Burton Albion have taken points off Cardiff City and Bradford this year. And both of those have the 2nd and the 4th best form in the league at home across 10 matches. For Reading, they are slowly getting sucked in. That win at Bloomfield Road, the only positive of late, just the 1 win away, 4 defeats, 4 draws, back-to-back defeats on the road. They're struggling a little bit, Reading. They are getting sucked in. They are level on points with Plymouth Argyle. They were better 8 points on the previous 4. Can Reading really get sucked into this, Jake?
Yeah, I think they can. I'll touch on Bradford first because I think they deserve a huge amount of credit. We spoke about that Exeter game and how maybe they were fortunate to win that. That's completely turned their fortunes around, hasn't it? Like you say, that win away at Plymouth last week, and then obviously not playing midweek, maybe helping them out a little bit, given that Reading played against Peterborough, having that free week maybe just to reinstill confidence in that little bit. And yeah, they were much better, much brighter, much more like what we saw at Bradford City in the first half of the first sort of 5 or 6 games of the season, where they're buzzing around the pitch, buzzing to be back at League One level. And I just thought that was the difference. You're playing against a team, Bradford, who are full of confidence. Yeah, they've been on a bit of a bumpy run. You're playing against a team in Reading who, like you mentioned, Ben, are playing without confidence. And I think this is the game that shows it perfectly, that what showing with playing with confidence can do to a side that isn't. Bradford were just first to every ball. They were creating chances. They were running harder, running further. I saw a clip earlier for one of the goals where I think a certain centre-half looks like he's running in treacle, but I don't take any pleasure of that, going back to his former club. I know there's the eye roll. I knew it was coming. But yeah, no, a really good win for Bradford. Gets them back on track at home as well, like you say, where they perhaps dropped more points than they would have wanted to. Like you say, with Burton going there, Lincoln have been there and drawn, Barnsley have been there and drawn. So yeah, for Reading, Ben, they can. The answer to your question is yes, they can get drawn into it, because, like you say, they're playing with no confidence. They look. Do you know? But I'm looking at this team now. They look like a team that have just been jigsawed together. Like they don't. It looks like there's no plan here for Red. Like I think they're trying to build around Wing and Savage, right? And that's probably the strongest part of their team, maybe along with Pereira in goal. But Kamari Doyle, very good for an underdog side last year at Crawley. Kararia, whatever, I can't pronounce his name. I don't think you'd have a better go than I would, considering you're called Luther Wild and Luther Widlin. Randall Williams, not really a wing back. A Brefa, young lad again. They just look like they've been thrown together, Ben. They look like they have no structure, and I'm really surprised because I thought Liam Richardson, after they beat Stevenage, would come in and make an impact, but he just hasn't done it, has it? It just hasn't been able to do it in the manner in which he would have wanted. And this is a squad on paper, Ben, that probably are like at the very least mid-table, right? This team at the very least, got some top players for the league. Pauldie, obviously, Wing, Savage. I think Kamari Doyle is a good young player. Pereira as well. They just look like they've got no plan whatsoever, and I think that will be what concerns Reading fans the most.
Like you say, they've got good players. Like you say, they are very cobbled together. I think Bradford, again, effective at what they do. They're a nightmare to play. The crowd helps effectively. You go a goal down at Bradford, you're in for it. And I think you said at the start of the year, weren't impressed with any of Bradford signings. You weren't impressed with Bradford. What I think Bradford did is they didn't go out and buy and sign wonder kids. Reading have got a couple of players that would get into Bradford's squad on paper before the start of this season. But Bradford built a squad. Bradford built a team. Bradford built to be structured. Bradford built to be well defensively organised, have goals, have a bit of athletic threat, have a bit of flair, have a bit of firepower up front, someone you can hit. And you look through Bradford's squad, it's night and day. You think of Torre, solid, Max Power experience, Halliday, 7 out of 10, never really more than that. Sarsfield and Wright, a bit of flair in behind the front man. Humphreys isn't great, but has a bit of pedigree at this level. And that's just mentioned the players that play. Bobby Poynton, excellent. Will Swan, start the season very well. Nerfield, start the season very well. Now can't get a kick. Tommy Lee, again, a bit of flair. Maybe, again, hasn't kicked on quite how we wanted to from a couple of years ago. But they've got a really good team and they're doing things the right way. We're going to move on to our next team. But before we do this, 80 of you in the chat, and over half the people that watch these shows aren't subscribed yet. I was talking to some people that were watching the videos yesterday and they didn't know how to subscribe. Just go down there, press subscribe for us and like the stream. If you could subscribe and like, that would mean the world. We're so close now to 18,300. We've been stuck on 18.2 for ages. So go down there for us. Press subscribe. It is free. Let's see how many we can gain in this stream. We're on 18,228. So let's see how many we can gain in this stream. Let's see if we can get 5 of you to subscribe across this stream. That'd be appreciated. We'll go to Plymouth now. Plymouth 1, Rotherham 0. Back-to-back wins for the boys from Home Park, making it a home from home again, needing that victory. Their 7th win of the season. They've actually won 35% of the games this year, considering how poor they've been. My main happiness is this week is back-to-back 1-0 wins. Good defensively. They were in the game against Bradford. They lost 1-0. Rotherham started a little bit the better, had the more momentum. Plymouth grew into it, and with that momentum, eventually the goal came after the second half. Rotherham asked a few questions without really testing, again, Plymouth too much. Didn't really, again, have a shot on target in the end. And they got through the game. And Rotherham, who were, I think, unbeaten in 4 away from home, they were unbeaten in 9 before this week. Couple of back-to-back defeats, but a great win. This squad of Plymouth has good players in the likes of Rawls, Mumba, Mitchell, Owen Dale knows the level, Jimmy Patterson. They've got good players that know the level, know the experience. Brendan Wirdy was signed for money. They just needed back-to-back wins. They've had a false storm before. I think they won back-to-back about 6 or 8 weeks ago, but 20 points and over now, 22 points. They've won 3 of the last 5. Again, they're only 3 points off Leyton Orient. They're only 3 points off Wycombe, who are 12. So another couple of back-to-back wins, and Plymouth are slowly moving in the right direction. All it takes is a good week. These Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. I always say if you can win 3, it's good. If you can win 2 and draw 1, it's excellent. But if you equally win 2 and you lose 1, it's good. They're beating Rotherham, they're beating Wycombe. 2 sides that they'll think, okay, we can get points from. Good win for the Pilgrims.
Yeah, massive win and a big moment for Joe Rawls as well, scoring his first goal since signing for the team. But I think they were good, Plymouth. I don't want to discredit them. I thought they were very good yesterday, and I thought they defended valiantly away at Wycombe in the week, like we mentioned on Wednesday. But this one was a bit more satisfying, I think. A really good win for them. Alex Mitchell, very good at the bat with Plaguezo. I'm going to go with that. That feels right. A really well defended. I think they rode the luck, like you say. Rotherham started probably the brighter of the 2 teams, but Argyle shooting towards that end. They got themselves back in the game, and it's a great ball from Owen Dale across to Rawls right before half time. Great time to score, and it just about gave them control of the game in the second half. Rotherham, they huffed and they puffed. There was a header that went wide from Jordan Hugill, but not a huge amount after that. There was, Connor Hazard made a really good save actually from Joe Powell. But again, Rotherham, I just didn't feel like they threatened after they went a goal down, which would really disappoint Matt Hamshaw. But like you say, back-to-back wins now for Plymouth. Really good. They'll be really happy with the week that it's gone. Like you say, now only just a couple of points behind that mid-table pack. And once they can get in there, Ben, if they've got some winnable games coming up, I'm just having a look at the games. They go to Doncaster on Saturday. They've got Reading and they've got Wycombe to round out the rest of 2025. Like, they're realistically 3 games. 2 of them are at home. Plymouth will be thinking, why can we not win 2 of those at least, and maybe try and get 7 points from those? And all of a sudden, if we're talking about Plymouth getting 7 points from them, Ben, they're on 29 points. And admittedly, that's 3 games time and teams are going to pick. That's where Luton are right now. So that would probably put them around where Wigan, Wycombe and Leyton Orient are in the league if they can pick up that amount of points. So a great week for Plymouth. Ironically, they start picking up as soon as I start waving the white flag about Tom Cleverley saying that he should be sacked. But that's just the way it goes. That's the way it happens when I call certain things. But yeah, a great week for them. Rotherham, I think, are a little bit. I've not been impressed with Rotherham this week at all. They had a really poor performance against Blackpool on Wednesday, and I thought they were really poor and tepid again yesterday. And for me, they need to add goals into that team. They need to add more options up front because Hugill is a great centre forward, but he doesn't help Sam Nombe out. Sharif is not quite to that level either. You can't rely on Sam Nombe, who gets injured quite regularly, or Martha. Sam Nomble.
We nearly got you then.
You did nearly get me. Sam Nomble. You can't rely on him. You can't rely on Martha. And you can't rely on Dangor because United could well just send him into the Championship or send him higher in League One. We don't know. So, yeah, I'm quite concerned with Rotherham. Obviously, they're only 2 points above the drop at this minute in time. Exeter have a game in hand on them as well, which could push them further, closer to it as well.
Do you want to do what Sue says? Do you want to be my model?
I am a model. I'm good looking enough to be a model.
Do you want to show people how they do it on the phone? Do you want to explain and talk them through it?
Oh, you mean you want me to get you to subscribe to the YouTube channel?
That's the one.
We've
got one already, so whoever subscribed, a massive thank you.
So if you're on your YouTube app and you find the live stream that we're currently on, this is going to be a bit weird. I'm going to watch the ad so that you get more money, Ben, because that's just
thanks, mate.
I'm
it's only going back into your pocket, mate.
Oh, it's two ads, so that's double the money, right? So you should have this feature on your phone, right? This is really weird because this is an inception of me watching me. Get rid of the live chat, and then click on the little face where Napper's little grin look. Click on that. It'll bring you up to the channel. And what you need to do is press. I'm going to just unsubscribe quickly, Ben. So don't. Hold on. Don't think I'm not. You'll see the subscribe button there. Give it a hit, and then while you're there, on the drop-down menu, hit all notifications.
Oh, it's great, isn't it?
And you'll know when we're live.
You're great. You're great. Thank you very much. If you want to do that, that'd be appreciated. Barnsley 3, Leyton Orient 2. Leyton Orient in goals. They just come together like bread and butter, like fish and chips by the seaside. Sorry, that's a bit of a sensitive issue right now, isn't it?
Right.
Me and Jake, they're just combos that come together. Lincoln City conjuring 2-0 leads away from home in December. Because you did it this time of year ago at Huddersfield.
Yes, I know.
Yes. Anyway, so talk me through it, Jake. Where did it go wrong for Leyton Orient yesterday?
Where did it go wrong for Leyton Orient yesterday? Barnsley had Reyes Cleary on the pitch. That's where it went wrong for Leyton Orient yesterday. That's pretty much it, isn't it? Because he was absolutely mustard. Again, another performance at Oakwell, another goal for him, another 2 assists. That's not true, Susan. You very much well know it's not true. Obviously after they got 1-0 down pretty early on, the reaction was actually quite good from Leyton Orient. very good. Don Ballard obviously scoring that penalty, Ollie O'Neill influencing the game as well. And at half time, you thought, Orient are doing well here. They got in front, they're ridden the storm, they're ridden the first 25, 30 minutes after half time, and you thought, Leyton Orient have got them here. And then again, I don't know what it is, similar to Stockport, like just the defending for the goals was awful. Like, and in that half an hour or so, it wasn't like Barnsley were peppering them. Orient were having chances like on the break. They were, they had a couple of chances. They didn't take them, and then up the other end, John Russell. Yeah, so am I, to be honest, Kieran. That's Kieran, the Newport fan, isn't it?
I'm going to be horrible here. I know it's well. I have watched, I would say, 450. I think I've watched Fleetwood 500. Say over 500 times in the EFL. I've watched Fleetwood now. Newport are categorically the worst team by some distance I've ever seen, and I've seen Bolton kids play against Fleetwood under 18s. I've never seen anyone as bad. I could tell you how bad they were after 60 seconds. Like, you look at the stats and you think they're all right, but they had 95% of those shots from about 20 yards or further. Honestly, Kieran, mate, I feel for you. I hope it gets better for you.
It's fair to say that Christian Fuchs is not quite the man as of yet.
More like Christian.
I've watched Newport a couple of times this year on Sky. And I was quite impressed with Bobby Camwa and
Bobby Cam was their bright spot. To be fair, who was it? Braybrook's not bad either.
The lad from Leicester.
Yeah, he's not a bad player.
He's a good player. I've heard a lot about him.
That.
And to be honest, I think I watched him early on in the season where they were scoring
when
goals.
The keeper was making a few good saves in the first half, I was like, you can. Oh, I wonder where you played for before. I wonder where you.
That Reindorf.
No.
Eh?
No.
What do you mean no?
No.
I don't know what you meant. I have no idea what was going on. So I'm going to go back to talking about...
The goalkeeper for Newport is Jordan Wright.
Oh, was it Jordan?
Yes.
Oh, dear. Sorry, Kieran.
You're making me question myself then.
Oh,
I was
sorry.
like, look at me. I can make good saves. Sod off.
Yeah, he used to be able to. He used to be very good from the penalty spot, but clearly since he joined that fishy lot up the road, he lost all footballing ability. But in fairness...
I saw the footballing ability recently.
Well,
Barnsley, Leyton Orient.
Yes. Barnsley did well to get themselves back into the game through John Russell, and then Davis Keeler-Dunn, Reyes Cleary linking up. I don't think it's going to be the last time we see that combination this season. A lovely ball from Cleary, and Davis Keeler-Dunn just tapped it into an empty net, didn't he, to win the game. So, yeah, they were a fair play to Barnsley because they could have crumbled, at 2-1 down. After the midweek game that they had themselves, they probably weren't. They probably would have thought, "Oh, we're down again. Like it's not going our way." But they do play good stuff, Barnsley, under Conor Horan. But they are much stronger at home, aren't they? They are much stronger at home. So a great win for them against Leyton Orient. I'm surprised we've got no Parmex here, aren't you? Where is he? Not here. You bowled it.
I love him. He's quality. No, I think with Leyton Orient, like defending for one of them, Dan Happy again probably made Richie Wellens very unhappy with the defending in the second half. Reyes Cleary and Young and Ava, two players. I think I said this on Wednesday. Two players that have come in from being in the National League last year and added to Barnsley's squad, and they feel very much because the Barnsley probably got limited budget because obviously they've gone for quality over quantity. Barnsley have an 18 that can get into the playoffs. There's no two ways about that. They've got a playoff, but they're 4 or 5 players short. That is the issue at this moment in time. But those two players feel like they're probably on not as good money. They're wanting to progress. Reyes Cleary has been one of the best players in the division. And I'll be honest with you, he was the first player I saw this season live with my eyes. Obviously with some help that I thought was
another
great.
2 set of eyes.
Yeah. Me and Phil me and Phil obviously was in commentary that day. I was obviously in the stand. We both went back and we always have a little bit of a chat after the game. And we both said Cleary was murdering our fullbacks. We had to keep swapping forward. We couldn't deal with him. And Reyes Cleary was unbelievable. And it feels like he's getting better. And then we're going, there's a Barnsley squad that, look, they're at 28 points after 17. Now, Luton are 7th. I would go as far as to say I don't think I've seen a team 7th after 20 games be as poor as Luton. So they're on the same point as them. Well, sorry, a point behind, but with 3 games in hand. The 2 games down on Stockport, 4 points behind, which is a gap. My issue is with Barnsley, it's similar to Rochdale in the National League, that eventually they're going to got to play those games. You're looking at this, got to play 29 games across the next 4.5 months of football. So across their next 20 weeks, they want to play 29. So they're going to be
international breaks as well.
See, yeah, there's an international break. So they've got to play catch up, and so they're going to have to use every member of the squad. And I think injuries will come in this time of year. It does happen. That is the question, because they have got good players. Have Barnsley, and I think they'll be okay. Some tough games coming up this Christmas period. If they can keep picking up points, Exeter, Mansfield to come, and Lincoln in 2025. If they can target 6 points from those, I think they are in a good position, because they'll hit 34 points after 20 games, 1.7. That will be enough for a playoff spot in my eyes. Good win form. Leyton Orient just seem to be the team that have finished 13th. They have the good days, have the bad days. You conceded 33 goals. I mean, you look at the bottom 4. Plymouth have conceded 1 less. Exeter have conceded 13 less. Blackpool have been awful defensively, have conceded 3 less. Port Vale 10 less, who are bottom of the league.
I do think with Leyton Orient, Ben, sorry to jump on you, but I do think that the injuries that they've got have basically curtailed their season, right? Because with Aaron Connolly in that team, the chances that they had yesterday probably get at least 1 or 2 of them, maybe more, get taken, or much better chances than what they were. And Idris El Mazouni being out for the length of time as well. They're both out for 4 months, into the new year. Idris El Mazouni is probably one of the best 8s in the league in terms of his dynamism, his tenacity in midfield. He's a real tenacious player. But he's a goal-scoring midfielder as well, who, they're going to miss that, because Bakinson and Morehouse is a young lad on loan from Man United. I know Backinson scored a decent goal. Was it midweek?
They like the houses in Barnsley, don't we?
What do you mean?
Morehouse. Who else have they got as an house?
Oh, they got more.
Well, they've had Lofthouse play from in the past.
Yeah.
And they've also had Mark Crossley. Shit house!
Yeah. Do you know, fair enough. But yeah, no, it is disappointing, because those 2 players are probably two of their best 3, given they've got Don Ballard as well. So I think that's a lot of pressure to chuck on Don Ballard between now and the end of the season. And as good as he is, whether he's going to be a Leyton Orient player by the other end of the end of January because of his goal scoring record, they'll do well to keep him as well. So yeah, it does feel a little bit like Leyton Orient's season has curtailed a little bit early because of injuries, but it's unfortunate.
99 of you in the chat. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button. We appreciate it. We're on the road to 18,500 subscribers. Every little help. Thank you so much, Kieran, for the donation, mate. Half my return for the Newport to lose. Cheers. Thanks very much, pal.
Good of him.
Very good of you. Thank you so much, mate. As charitable as Newport's defence. Thank you very much, mate.
Oh, that's a low blow.
It is, mate. It is. Bolton Wanderers 2, Exeter 1. It doesn't normally Exeter start the season well and then go on this really bad run and end up in the bottom 4. It doesn't feel like Exeter have actually been that bad this year. And it doesn't feel like they've gone on this awful run. Don't get me wrong, they beat Plymouth and you thought, okay, they'll be okay. But they've won 6. Yes, they've lost 11. 9 games of those 11, they've lost by the single goal. They are in games. They just need to not lose as many. They've only drawn 2. If you can just turn 3 of those losses into draws, they're on 23 points, and they are where Mansfield are with the same record as them. They're not conceding many. You look at the goal they conceded. Everyone up to Rotherham have all conceded more than them. Then, if you want to go that far, only in the bottom, outside the playoffs, There's only Northampton that have conceded the same amount of goals as them outside the playoffs. And even Stockport have conceded more goals than them. Bolton have only conceded 3 more. Lincoln have conceded a goal more. Bradford have only conceded 2 less, and they've been great defending. Top of the table, Cardiff have conceded the same amount of goals. They're just not good in moments, and they switch off. They start the game well, they're 1-0 up. Away at Bolton, their season won't be defined on Bolton away, don't get me wrong. But you just think, stick in the game, Dalby gets a goal, and with 10 minutes to go, Thierry Gale, I thought, again, had another good game yesterday. He's slowly getting better, game on game. And the front four now, the 4-2-3-1 is working a lot better for Bolton. Sheehan and Rahan in behind, and they've got Koji Debris, Force, Burstow, Sissoko, Thierry Gale that can come on and change it. Also a 2-2. Dempsey, again, has been excellent in previous weeks. They're starting to build a good side now, Bolton Wanderers, in my opinion. And they're strong. They've not lost at home yet this season. They've won 7. They've drawn 3. Look, they've drawn to Reading, Lincoln and Bradford. But that is the type of game last season. Bolton probably going to draw 1-1 and they don't get the job done. You feel Bolton now are a good banker at home. The 4th, it doesn't feel like they've really moved up too much, but the points target is keep moving. It might not be where they are, but if they keep doing what they're doing, they will eventually get where they want to get to. 3 behind Bradford, just a point behind Lincoln now with that game in hand. They're 5 points clear in front of Luton now, but we're starting to see a style. We're starting to see Bolton good at home. They've had a good week when you look at it. When you look at it back, but a very, very good week. Forget the Swindon game, win at Mansfield, win at Exeter. They are 2 games that Bolton Wanderers should win. They should be winning if they want to get promoted. Big Bolton Wanderers should be winning those types of games all day long. But it's a difference. They are slogs. They are hard to play against because Mansfield are on a bad run. Exeter been dragged into the bottom 4. They're fighting for every point. Mansfield obviously went down to 10 men. They got the job done. Big result for Bolton. Bolton 2, Exeter 1, Jake.
Yeah, they got off the hook a little bit, didn't they? Bolton yesterday. I don't think they were anywhere near as good as Bolton were. Can be, certainly. I think that says a lot about how good they were to win the game, because if you're playing at that, and if you can afford to give a team a goal that early, I mean, Exeter are always going to come for a point. And when they get given a golden opportunity in the manner in which they do, look, I think Teddy Sharmalo's a decent keeper. I think he's very good, a very good young progressive keeper. I think he'll have a decent career in the game. He's very good with the ball at his feet, which is the way that the football is unfortunately going. But I think with that, you are going to have issues. Certainly when you're trying to, young goalkeepers do make mistakes. I think the only young goalkeeper that I know that has never made I never saw him make one mistake was Carl Rushworth, and that's how.
Oh, did he play for
Walsall?
Carl Rushworth.
He played for Walsall and he played for Swansea and he now played for Coventry and he's doing very well. Actually, I never saw him make a mistake once. That's how good a keeper he is, right? I'm not telling you where else he played because we're not talking about them. I don't really want to talk about them, to be honest.
George Wickens never makes mistakes either.
He made a massive mistake yesterday, which I'm going to come on to. Sue, prepare yourself. Sharman Lowe, big mistake for the goal. Really big mistake. And it's a great finish from Aitchison. But that's the last thing. But that's the last thing.
Wasn't a red card. Referee was wrong.
The ref probably was wrong on that occasion. It's only because she knows what's coming with George Wickens. She's jumping on Carl's back, but Carl's like 5 times the keeper George is. The greatest respect to George Wickens, who got an assist yesterday. They get the goal early, and then Bolton have to graft. They have to work, and Exeter sit in their shape. They're pretty hard to break down when they do sit in that shape. But Bolton, they pull them left, they pull them right. They got Koji Dubry. Sissoko was playing this game. Force, who hasn't maybe played as much as they would have wanted in recent weeks. But Sam Dolby, I think that's his first goal at home for Bolton. And Thierry Gale, who is growing in to his role. Maybe not done as well as Koji Dubry on that right-hand side, but still coming on an impact in the game after being subbed on at half-time. I think good performance. I actually think it was decent from Exeter. I thought the way they defended was quite admirable, actually. But Bolton to win, despite not being vintage and at the top of what we know they can be, a very good win for them. Like you say, now with games in hand, which admittedly a game in hand doesn't mean anything because you could lose it in the way that this league is at the minute. Games in hand, you cannot expect teams to win their game in hand because teams down the bottom are equally as competitive, right? So I don't think this game in hand malarkey has a lot of skin in the game.
Toby.
Hey?
Toby.
What,
You don't know what I mean, do you? You went all that malarkey, Toby.
Oh, Toby malarkey, yeah. There's a reason
You're
I don't
slow
like
tonight, you aren't you? We start calling you Fire Stick because you're lagging.
Do you know there's a reason I don't like him? Because you play for the Codheads. Cheers, Toby.
All right, thanks, mate.
Not you. It's not all about you. It's all about them up the road. But yeah, no, a good win for Bolton. It moves them. It gets them moving along. 34 points now. So yeah, I think to be honest, I think Bolton will be eyeing up that second spot along with Cardiff.
Absolutely so. Luton 2, Vale 2. We'll come on to Luton first. Again, our team averaging less than 1.5 points a game is just outside the playoffs is deceiving. They've drawn a lot of games. Now, a little bit of a stat for you. Now, Jack Wilshere's been in has had nearly as many games in the league as Matt Bloomfield did. They've only lost one in the last 12 games in all comp in 90 minutes. 2 in 12 if you can include penalty kicks. In the league, under Jack Wilshere, 3 wins, 4 draws, 2 defeats. Mansfield and Barnsley away they lost. 13 points across 9 games, 1.44 points per game. Under Matt Bloomfield, 5 wins, 1 draw, 5 defeats. So they were losing more, but they won more. A lot of 1-0. Don't get me wrong, the football wasn't pretty. I said I thought at the time, I thought it was too early. I would have given Matt Bloomfield the full season. I don't feel like they had much to lose. 1.54 points a game. Not a big improvement, but they'd have to go and get 4 points across the next 2 games just to go and match it. And 16 points across the next 11. So they have to go and get 3 points across the next 2 games to match it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that Matt Bloomfield, this is Siren, Wilshere's any bad, but I'm not seeing the improvement from a new manager bounce yet, and it was going to take time. It always was. You can see the influence that Wilshere's having in terms of the Arsenal effect with set pieces. The first goal comes from, I think both goals come from set pieces. From
Brown scored a free kick, didn't he?
Yeah, the free kick, very good free kick. And the second was a corner. They seem to be very, very good from set pieces, and they threaten. Again, another game that they've drawn. They've tried to deceive, and they feel like they have to work really, really hard to get a point. Leyton Orient in the week, 96 minutes from Kadua, getting a goal. Against Fleetwood, they scored late on to rescue that. In November, under him, 1-1 against Bolton Wanderers. It felt like, again, they came back against 10 men late on. Beat Huddersfield, late goals again. Jerry Yates, 70-odd minutes. Barnsley, where they lost. Rotherham, 0-0 was a slog. Stockport, they were great, to be fair to them. Forest Green 4-3. They had to, again, score really, really late to win that game in the FA Cup. Northampton, they won 1-0. Mansfield obviously lost 2-0. So there is a bit of peaks and troughs. I think Luton this season just need to reconsolidate, finish about 10th, which I think is where they'll finish. They've been relegated back-to-back. Sometimes you just need a season to restart and go again. What do you make of Luton under Jack Wilshere?
God, how long have you got? I do agree with you. I think they are getting better. I think they are. The one thing, the area in which I think they have got better is I think Jack Wilshere has made them better at being on top in games, and when they're on top, they take their opportunities. I think that's where there were a lot of games under Bloomfield where they were on top. They had maybe had the opposition pinned back, but they didn't quite get that decisive goal. They didn't have that final action that created the goal. I think under Wilshere they have become a little bit more ruthless, and I think they are starting to score more goals now, like you mentioned. And I think defensively they're getting there. Obviously, I'm not a big fan of Josh Keeley. I don't think I ever have been, and I think yesterday he cost his team certainly at least 2 points because the mistake again, like we spoke about with Lo Tatala, the second goal from Devante Cole is poor goalkeeping from Josh Keeley. He parries it right into an area where it's harder to miss for Devante Cole. And this is a Devante Cole that's not scored for how many games, Ben? I'm sure you've got the stat. How many when Devante Cole?
7 or 8. Well, they've not scored for 7 games. It is. Ben, little stat on Port Vale. Thank you for teeing me up. Ben Wayne's goal at the equaliser at Port Vale, 585 minutes without a goal in League One.
That's how long the League One lives. Go on.
First goal since Wimbledon in October.
518 minutes, did you say?
585.
585. If we get 100 likes on this stream, we'll do a League One live. It's 585 minutes and come in collaboration with Port Vale to show that we support them, won't we, Ben? Absolutely.
We're close to 50 likes, and we've gained 3 subscribers this stream, so we're 2 away from the target. 2 away.
It was a tutorial. Everyone knows what to do now. So.
2 away now. Very, very close. If you haven't subscribed, people.
2 more.
60% aren't subscribed that are watching. Mad.
If you don't, just create an account. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I think they're getting there, but I think yesterday's disappointing for them in the manner of it, because it's Port Vale at home, the team that had just come up from League Two. They've come down for the champ, and they had to really fight for it, and they had to scrap. And I think that's probably I think Port Vale will take a lot of positives from that performance, won't they, Ben? Because I think to go to Luton and get a point, they were in front for the game for 15 minutes or so, but they had opportunities, Port Vale, and they carved them open on a few occasions. But to get pegged back and to hold out for a 2-2 draw, given the way that Port Vale have played over the last sort of 7 or 8 weeks, was quite impressive. So I think Port Vale definitely walk away. Sorry, I'll call them by their proper name. So we play Port Vale, probably more happier out of the 2 teams.
Absolutely.
I wonder why you're smiling now. Look, I wonder why. Here he is. Licking his lips.
No. There's something happens. I'll tell you at the end of the stream. Though, all I can say is I think the Fleetwood Faithful are having a nice evening on the old beer. That's all I'll say.
Go on.
Look, I'm not going to give you too much stick because 2-0 away from home, winning in the first half to see it out is tough. Good teams do that, don't they, Jake? On the weekend of the 13th of December. Hey, mate. Seasiders. Good to see you yesterday, mate.
Can I be honest? The amount of Blackpool fans that stopped me yesterday and went, "Oh, you're Nappers' mate, aren't you?" And I went,
"Did they?"
Yeah, honestly. And they went, "Oh, yeah." They were talking about you and how much I love you and things like that. And I said, well, you know why you love him so much, don't you? And they went, "Oh no, why is that?" I said, "Because he's one of you. He's one of you. He's a Blackpool fan." So I think that went down quite well. I made a lot of friends that way. But I think. Look, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in the manner because yesterday we were in full control of that game. Blackpool couldn't live with us. They were playing. Blackpool in the first half were absolutely woeful. The crowd were on the back, and rightly so. They couldn't complete a pass. I thought Moylan and Street were particularly good in their pressing with Rico Hackett as well. And we were in complete control. 2 goals, 2 really good goals as well. Great assist from George Wickens to Jack Moylan, and a lovely finish from Jack Moylan. That since he's come back from injury, that when he came on at half-time against Wycombe, he's been absolute dynamite, and hopefully we see the best out of him now. Streety, really happy for him. He's maybe not had it easy, but picked as the number 9. Really happy for him to score. Really good goal as well. And at that point, you're in control. You've got Blackpool fans absolutely hating their team. You're in complete control. You can go and get a third, go and kill the game off. But we then make a mistake. And this is the reason for me why I don't think Lincoln City will get promoted this season. There's a great ball down the side. Tom Hamer tells the goalkeeper, George Wickens, to leave the ball. And George Wickens just comes out and flies. It's a definite penalty. I don't know what on earth George is thinking by clearing Ashley Fletcher out. Tom Hamer's got it under control, and George Wickens takes it out. When you give that penalty away, you give Blackpool away back into the game. And I said it against, I don't know if you remember, Ben, I said it when we were beating Wycombe. We were against Wycombe. We got back to 2-2 and looked the better team and looked likely to go and win the game 3-2. And George Wickens put one out of play, and that got the Wycombe crowd back on the side. George gave the Blackpool fans an opportunity to get back on side. They scored the penalty. Second half, I didn't think Blackpool were much better. I don't think they were better. I thought they moved the ball around a bit quicker. We had opportunities on the break still, I think. I was relatively impressed. I always felt comfortable, even at 2-1, the way that we defended. And then just really poor defending for the equaliser, like really poor defending. And it's a habit. I thought they got it. We've won game. We've been 2-0 up in front in games before this season and not crumbled. It's clear to me that they haven't learnt their lesson. But I'm disappointed because 2-0 up at any game, certainly away from home, I think against Blackpool, who admittedly their league position's false. Blackpool are a good side, Ben. I think you know this. I think I know this. I was talking to these Blackpool fans before the game. They're saying, "Do you think you're going to come and roll us over?" I went, "No, because Blackpool are just that good. They've got some good individual players. Like they brought on some really good players."
You talked to a lot of fans of the opposite team, you.
Well, admittedly, it was a lot of it was walking down from the ground to the pub. Well, towards the pub with a very aggressive.
I'm not in the mood for socialise. I want to get in the ground and.
Yeah, I'm a sociable person. I'll talk to anyone and anything. So, it was good. But I'm disappointed. I think I'm not going to moan at Seb Stocksbridge because I don't think it's fair. But I didn't think he particularly did us a lot of favours yesterday. Just in terms of no key decisions went against us. I didn't think, but in terms of getting his cards out, I think he was a little bit unfair. But he wasn't quite reciprocating that for Blackpool. But I'm more disappointed in the person I'm most disappointed in is George because we're in such control of that game, and he's giving them a way back in. So look, if we beat Cardiff next week, right, that becomes a really good point. But we've got to beat Cardiff next week. So I'm frustrated.
Yeah, I think Lincoln are very much relying on that home form. They've been great at home, but you need to start winning games of football away from home because eventually there'll be a week where you don't win at home, and then all of a sudden you're chasing yourselves a little bit. Look, you've won half your games. If you do that for the rest of the season, you're on about 78 points to 81 points, Mark. Not that bad. And it's a tough game against Cardiff next week. Don't get me wrong, but look, you lost to Wycombe away. Then you back it up with a couple of wins over Vale and Barnsley, beat Doncaster. I'm still waiting for Lincoln to really, really impress me. Again, it just felt like Lincoln were mid-table yesterday at 2-0, sitting back, having the moment. And Lincoln City are statistically a lot better than Blackpool. Go and kill it off. Go and show who you're about. Go and get a third. Show bravery. I don't think Lincoln are brave enough at times. And it feels like, well, what we're doing. And when it works, it's like, yes, get in. But it almost felt that North stand sucks the ball in. Like most places in this league. So great stand. And one thing on Ashley Fletcher, he got ridiculed. He got absolutely slammed. In my eyes, I'd go as far to say Ashley Fletcher's the most underrated striker this season in the division. He's got 7 goals. He's got 2 assists. He's got better and better as games have gone on. Look, he's contracted till the end of next season, so will he keep him? They signed him that he needed a bit of love. He hadn't played a lot of games of football, but he's their main man and quite often enough always plays 90 minutes of football. And again, he might not be the brightest spark in terms of strikers, but he's got a lot of love at Blackpool. He's scoring 1 every 3 games at Blackpool, which is 15 a season. There's a good striker in there, Ashley Fletcher. It's a good finish yesterday to rescue a point. They needed it, Blackpool. Good point on the road overall for Lincoln. I think if you offered them a 2-2 before the game, they'd have took it. But it's context. They need to keep picking up points. Get the 50 points now is their big target. Keep picking up 3, keep picking up 1s. If you don't win, don't lose. Again, big point for both. I'd say Blackpool improving. Great character shown. Ian Everett slowly moving in the right direction. Sometimes I think he's got to sacrifice what he wants to do long term because I feel with him, he wants to play his brand of football. Sometimes I think that he needs to sacrifice that a little bit to keep Blackpool in League One because no bones about it, they're in a bad place. Huddersfield 1, Wigan 1, Jake. Talk me through this. Huddersfield, after keeping 6 clean sheets in the first 10, have actually conceded in the last 10. A good point on the road for Wigan, who are now 8 unbeaten. So again, Wigan are getting better. Masked by draws, not winning enough, But again, a decent point on the road for Wigan.
Yeah, I think they certainly would have taken that that point on the road before if you offered it to them. I was really impressed with them actually yesterday. I thought out of possession they did the hard work. They did really well to contain a Huddersfield team that, to be honest, I mean, the quality that they've got to reduce them to just 11 shots. And I know a lot of teams have definitely faced more shots against Huddersfield, but a defender scoring, Murray Wallace getting on the score sheet. Boy is Rodriguez on loan from Coventry as well, scoring the goal for Wigan. But like you say, that a point on the road is a decent one. Certainly away at Huddersfield. Huddersfield, by the way, were turgid, I thought. I spoke to James, who's a good friend of the show, and he messaged me this morning after we had time to think about it. Grant has got to go. Yesterday, the second half was pathetic. So it sounds to me like they got themselves one goal in front, sat on it against a Wigan team who this year, admittedly, the one thing that Ryan Lowe has done right with Wigan Athletic, he has made them better going forward. And I think when you give this Wigan team chances, this year they take them. Last year, I don't think they take the chances that they're being given. But a good finish and they were back on parity and they deserved it. To be honest, second half, I thought they played really well and maybe could have gone on to win the game. So, yeah, whilst it is just another point on the road, it's a much better point for Wigan, and they'll be looking to target certainly a couple more points over the festive period to really try and throw themselves the weight around and put themselves in the top 10. Ben, mate, you've muted yourself again.
Yeah, absolutely agree.
Unless you were slacking me off, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. With Huddersfield, they just feel very sluggish, don't they? They just don't do enough. They don't kick on enough, and they're a ninth in the table team. That's where they are. They need to go and win 3 in a row. I don't think they're getting results because they've got a good team. They're not getting teams because they're good tactically or they're a good team. They've got good players and a good team. So, yeah, an interesting one. Sure, we can wrap these up very quickly. Burton 0, Wycombe 0. Point for the Brewers, another point for Wycombe, who've got a bit of a stumble block lately, Wycombe. They've maybe not been quite winning as quite regularly as they were. Mid-table for Wycombe are probably where they are, but they're not losing many since Duff came in. They feel very solid. Burton is another point towards safety, but they're only a point above that dotted line now, looking over the shoulder. It's another game closer to Charlie Webster being back, which is good. Stevenage away, Northampton and Wigan, they've got to be targeting, I think, at least 4 points from those next 3.
Yeah, hopefully a win at Stevenage on the weekend. That'd be absolutely lovely. So, David, I'm sure you'll have a word with Gary Bowyer. But yeah, well, it was 0-0, wasn't it? Won a huge amount to report. I think there's a penalty decision that's doing the rounds on social media. I've not seen it in a huge amount of detail or angle. I know Burton fans are perplexed as to why it wasn't given. But I certainly think that given the injuries in which the Burton have got, I think they would have taken a point against Wycombe yesterday. A Wycombe that, yes, they've had an iffy couple of games under Michael Duff, but since his record, and I think we've spoken about it over the last couple of weeks, since Michael Duff has come into the building, there's not been many better teams in League One than Wycombe Wanderers. So to get a point, while not at full capacity, I think Burton Albion certainly would have taken that.
Absolutely. So an AFC Wimbledon 0, Mansfield 0, 2 out of form sides. AFC Wimbledon looking to kind of see them back on track. They are 10th AFC Wimbledon, don't get me wrong, but they are slowly sliding down. They are only 5 points above that dotted line and not in great form. Mansfield aren't in great form. The last 5 games, they are the worst team in the division. They only picked up 1 point, which was yesterday. Chances for both teams. It was that typical game that you think both sides at the start of the year want to stay up. A lot riding on it. If one won, the other one pulled right into it. But both of them got a point just to keep the points tally going. It felt very much, yeah.
It was 0-0, mate. It wasn't a classic, this one, between Stags and Wimbledon. You say, I think it was just a case of both defences being on top, wasn't it? Neither attack penetrative that much. Not a lot of action from the forward line of Orsi and Brown or Evans and Lucas Akins, who I've noticed has come back into the team following his release from jail. So that's quite a topical point. But Yeah, it was a 0-0 game. Not a lot of chances, not a lot of creativity. Defenders certainly came out on top.
Absolutely so. An hour and 20 minutes as we go into our final part of the Extravaganza show.
Oh, fantastic.
Talk me
Are you
through it.
ready? Are you ready? Because we've got a lot to catch up on, Ben. So, where am I going? So, I've got to take you all the way back, to when Wigan played against Burton, which was like almost 2 weeks ago now. We both went for Burton wins. I got 3 points on that. I predicted Wigan to win by a goal to nil. So happy days. So that then took me 8 points in front. So at that point it was 109 to 117. Ben, you then clawed a point back after getting a point. The both correct outcomes for Cardiff and Huddersfield and Plymouth and Bradford. Obviously, the game week that we didn't have a show. And then obviously Tuesday night, Ben, you reduced the deficit yet again, 6 points to the 4. A correct score in the Stevenage Cardiff game for you, Ben, by the looks of it. No correct perfect scores for me, meaning the gap was in 117 to 122. Then this weekend, Ben, you've had a very good weekend, but we've both had quite good weekends. 10 points for you this weekend, Ben. Can you guess which? You got one correct score. Any idea which one you got right?
Bradford 2, Reading 0.
Oh, you checked. Yeah.
No, I didn't. I'm just guessing.
That's correct. Yeah, I got 2 correct scores, right, Ben?
Do you know how to guess?
Well, I got.
I have a guess.
Yeah, go on. You have a guess. Go on.
I reckon because you didn't get Bradford, I'm going to go for Peterborough, and I reckon you got.
Come on, Ben. What do I love? I love predicting one of these every week.
I reckon you went for Barnsley.
I love a 3-2. I absolutely gag for a 3-2. So, yeah, you got 10. I got 9. So, meaning, Ben, you are on 127 points. I'm on 131 points. Going in to the final weekend games before Christmas. How exciting. Ben, I'm going to start with you because we've got 2 games. We've got a Thursday game and a Friday game in League One this week. How exciting. So, on Thursday night, Ben, Luton Town are heading to the Madstad to take on Reading. Any ideas?
1-1.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, I wasn't going to go for 1-1 at all, actually, funny enough. I'm going to go... Who do I think? Why not? Let's back Luton. Reading 0, Luton Town 1. Jack Wilshere just about edges it, but 1-1 would have been my score. So if it does go 1-1, I'm going to be gutted. Northampton versus Wimbledon on Friday night. I'm going Cobblers 2, Wimbledon 1.
Of course you are. Northampton 2, Wimbledon 0.
Ben, coming to you for the biggest game of the weekend and the biggest ever season for Stevenage as they host Burton Albion.
Stevenage 2, Burton 0.
Could they do it again? Could they go to a team in the top 6 and win 1-0 away from home again?
Won their 2-1 a couple of years ago and stayed up.
They won there last year as well.
Won their last 2 years then.
Stevenage 0, Burton Albion 1. JJ McKiernan comes on and wins a penalty and they win 1-0. Well, that sounds familiar. Ben, is it me first? It is me first for Wigan Athletic versus Blackpool. I'm going to go Wigan Athletic 1, Blackpool 1.
Wigan 0, Blackpool 2.
In the biggest surprise of the evening, Ben has predicted a Blackpool win. Ben, coming to you then for Doncaster Rovers versus Plymouth.
It's a 2, Plymouth 1. 95 in the chat watching us predict. Wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know a couple of those people. So
who are they?
Well, just friends of the show, mate. Sue, David, no one exciting, mate. Don't worry. Doncaster versus Plymouth. What did you go? 2-1 Donny?
Yeah.
I'm going to go 2-1 Argyle. 3 wins in a row for Tom Cleverley. If that doesn't happen, I'm sorry, Plymouth fans. Exeter versus Barnsley. Exeter got a good record against Barnsley at home. I'm going to go Exeter City 2, Barnsley 1.
1-1.
I thought you'd go there.
I like the way you have yours jotted down. I just go whatever comes to my mind.
Ben, Leyton Orient against Bradford City at Brisbane Road.
Again. Exeter against 2.
No, we've just done Exeter, mate. You've become a lot like Mr. Ward. Honestly, I don't like it. Leyton Orient versus Bradford City at Brisbane Road.
1-0 Bradford. Parmick just predicted you to lose 3-0 at home to Cardiff. Just think about that.
Orient 2, Bradford City 1. I don't feel well. Ben, I'm first then for Lincoln versus Cardiff.
I've got a prediction.
I don't like it.
Am I first?
No, I'm first. Lincoln City 1. Cardiff City 1.
Lincoln City 2, Cardiff 1.
Derby bouncing off, mate. If that happens, right? Expect me to be unbearable next week. Tune in. If we lose, not so much. But
70% were watching or subscribed. That's how many. So you fancy it? We're 2 away from our goal of 5 gained in the stream. So if you could subscribe, would mean a lot. Subscribe down below and give us a like.
Right. Okay. Mansfield versus Stockport County. Ben, you're first.
2-1 Stockport.
Don't like you. Yeah. Mansfield. Did you go 2-1 Stockport? I'll take you've left the 2-0 Stockport wide open, so I'm going to take that one. Port Vale versus Peterborough. Form book out the window. Port Vale 1, Peterborough United 0.
Who? Who's at home?
Port Vale.
So we play Port Vale.
So we played Port Vale. Sorry.
What did you go 2-1?
I did, yeah.
Port Vale.
Port Vale versus Peterborough. I went 1-0 Port Vale, mate. Yeah.
2-1 Port Vale. My social battery's gone now.
Well, you social? What, you want to go? Do you want me to rattle?
No, I don't want to go, but I could only deal with an hour and a half of Lincoln jibber jabber.
So, Rotherham United versus Huddersfield Town.
My first. 2-0 Huddersfield.
I'm going to go 1 each. And then Wycombe versus Bolton. I'm going, screw it. Wycombe Wanderers 2, Bolton Wanderers 3. I love a 3-2.
Big win for Bolton here last year, wasn't it? Was it 2-1? I think.
It
won 2-1 here last year.
It could well have been. I'm
going to go 2-1 Bolton again.
Fantastic work.
There we are. Well, thanks very much for watching, guys. We will have a league table update next week. So, again, any questions to finish us off the show?
Steady on, mate. Steady on. Although, to be fair, we're not far off, are we? We're not far off.
No.
Trust me.
To get 90 minutes.
I love going for 90 minutes, Ben. You know this.
Shut up. If you could get any questions in, that'd be appreciated. Last 3 or 4 minutes of the show. Jake, thanks for joining me as always, mate.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, it was good. I've enjoyed it. To say it was, I don't know. It's a little bit like we're in a bit of a lull before. It's like the quiet before the storm, really, isn't it? Because we're really busy in the Christmas period. So, I'm looking forward to it, mate.
You're missing the show, lad. It's all right for some.
I'm missing one show. Admittedly, I have to meet my sister's boyfriend. So that's the reason I'm missing.
So what's his boyfriend called? What's the boyfriend called?
Jordan. His name is.
So you and Jordan share a girlfriend?
My sister. We're not inbred here, mate.
You fell into that, didn't you?
Eh?
You fell into that, didn't you?
I've got to meet my. I've got to meet my sister's boyfriend. We're having a lovely meal, I think. So that's the reason I'm missing one show. But every other show, I will be here, and obviously I'll still be. Go on. I said obviously I still will be making my own content on Here for the Lincoln pod as well. Obviously.
Yeah, it's thrilling. I bit of an update. We are not here next Sunday. We'll be live Monday, the 22nd of December. Jake, why do you look so surprised?
I'm not surprised. Maybe I am surprised. I don't know. I'm not.
I did tell you about 2 months ago, but
yeah, no, I'm sure you did.
I've got other engagements that I can't quite get out of. So, 22nd of December, we will be live for League One Live. So, an extra day without. We've got videos this week coming on Bristol Rose and Cardiff City this week. Before we've got a vlog on Gillingham, which, yes, and then League One Live next Monday. So, plenty to come in the off season.
The off season. There's no off season, mate. It's peak season.
A week without.
You know when you get, what it is. It's called peak. You know when you're on your train, it's peak time, mate. Christmas for me and you is peak time. That's where I am.
I'm going for a family meal.
Oh, it's all right for you then.
Yeah, but I'm moving the show to be here. I'm off to Ali Pally. I'm off to London tomorrow. I'm off to tomorrow, and I'm going on Tuesday and Wednesday, and I might not come home. So I tell you what, I'm going to do a membership vlog for Ali Pally. So if you're interested in being a member, join below. There's 48 members. So if you fancy joining the gang, there's an update on. We've had a chat about football that's going up tomorrow, and then a vlog at Ali Pally. So, yeah.
How many mentions do I get in your video that goes out tomorrow?
You don't actually.
Well, it's not a member video then, is it? It's not good enough. It's not good enough because I expect
to get one. You might get one.
I literally get a mention in every single Cods Vlogs video, so I'm very disappointed.
It's not all about you, mate. Mr. Main Man.
I think you find it is. I think you find it very much.
The main man lives in Burton, and he's called David. He's my main man.
He's your main man, is he? Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to Ali Pally this week?
I'm going to Ali Pally on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Who are you? What round are you seeing then?
Round one, mate.
I've
hardly watched any of it. I've not watched a full match of it yet.
You see any big names? Any big names playing tomorrow?
Gerwin Price.
Gerwin Price. Oh, my favourite darts player. Gerwin. Come on, Gerwin.
I can't remember who else is on the Josie D'Souza, former Grand Slam winner.
I love the arrows.
I'm good to miss Callum Ridge, who's one of my favourite players. So, here's what it is.
I love the arrows.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So, if you want to join as a member, I'll be doing a vlog where you might see a different side of Nappers because I'll be drinking a lot of water. A lot of water will be drank in consumption of me at the darts. Like a lot of water.
Who are you going there with? Are you going with anyone?
Just family, mate. Just family. I've got no one to take to the darts, mate.
Are you staying at your family's down in London? Because I know you've got family down there.
Mate, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So working out on a hotel, I suppose, doesn't it?
Absolutely, mate. I'm a cheapskate, mate. That's why we're friends. Thanks so much for watching, guys. A big thanks to Jakey Tong. Appreciate you as always, mate.
We're doing this again. Yeah, thanks, mate. Really enjoyed it. Really appreciated it. And rare Sunday off next week then. So I don't know what I'm going to. I'll be celebrating 3 points against Cardiff.
I'm off to a family meal.
I'm going to be hopefully be enjoying 3 points against Cardiff. No idea what else I'll be doing, but yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to the upcoming festive period. So our next show is our last one before Christmas, right?
Yes, Christmas jumpers.
Christmas jumpers, fantastic. I know exactly which Christmas jumper I'm going to wear.
I might have to bring the Jingle Belly on if it still fit. With the gym bulk I put on 7 kilo in the last 4 months. So
he's got broader. His shoulders are very big now. His are nappers. He works hard. 30 nappers.
I won't go that far. Got 60 kilo bench for reps today though, because I did 40 in August. I couldn't do any more than that.
A lot of these people, that doesn't mean a huge amount, but I'm very proud of you, Ben. So well
thanks
done.
very much. That's great. That's great.
So was your goalkeeper, Sue. I'll be honest.
You can just see her going.
I know she's gonna be mad at me, but I say how it is. I don't sugarcoat it. Do you know what I mean?
A big thank you to the 4 people that subscribed, just the 1 away from the 5 people.
Come on.
Come on. 1 away. Let's get
one
it.
One person in particular. I want you to subscribe. One person in particular. Subscribe to the channel.
Oh, hello.
Oh, hello. It's a
bibby. Getting who they are.
Yeah, it's actually my dog Daphne. She's gonna make sure she subscribes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Again, but thanks very much for watching. Make sure you give us a like, subscribe on your way out. Thanks so much for your fantastic support. Plenty of content coming this week. I love you and leave you. Thanks for watching. Up the League One Live. Oh, wrong week. Wrong week. Every week I make a mistake.
You're a plonker, aren't you?
Get me a beer. There's a question in the chat, Jake, that needs reply.
Sue, I'll tell you for 50 bits of shortbread.
She'll make me 51.